Today's students use technology as part of their everyday lives. Mobile technology allows them constant access to the internet as well as instantaneous communication options. While many use this technology strictly for social purposes, some students and their teachers are starting to see the value in using mobile technology in the classroom. My name is KLandolt, and my study, Students' Perspectives and Use of Personal Mobile Devices in the High School Classroom, was completed during EDRS 8000 and EDRS 8900 as part of the Specialist in Education degree in Instructional Technology at Kennesaw State University. The purpose of this study was to research high school students' perspectives on using mobile technology in the classroom. The first goal of the study was to establish how high school students are currently using their mobile devices. The second goal was to investigate the students' perceptions as to whether mobile technology is helpful or distracting during school. The third goal was to explore the attitudes of students regarding appropriate times to be on their devices. My research questions were: 1. How are high school students currently using their mobile devices? 2. Do high school students believe that mobile devices can be used for learning? 3. What are the perceptions of high school students regarding appropriate and inappropriate times to be on their mobile devices? As the school system invests in more technology for the high school, it will be important to know what the students are using it for and whether they are using it for the intended purpose of enhanced student learning. Studying the students' perspectives on the use of mobile devices in the classroom will help the school system and its teachers better plan for the use of these devices in student learning. This study will also serve to fill a gap in the current literature. While it is possible to find studies claiming to be about high school students' use of mobile technology, most are actually surveys of college students' perspectives of their former high schools. This study was done directly with high school students in order to get a current perspective. Through a review of the current literature, I found that many students who are accustomed to using their mobile phones for socializing are making the transition to using them as a learning tool during the school day. Research shows that students are becoming more aware of when it is appropriate to use their mobile devices and adopting better mobile etiquette. Now that students are beginning to understand the difference of when to socialize and when to use their mobile device as a tool, educators need to find ways to actively engage students in learning through the use of these devices. Educators must also set clear rules and expectations regarding the use of mobile devices. This quantitative study was completed using a cross-sectional survey design. The data was collected by the means of a questionnaire. This questionnaire included a variety of question types, including Likert scale items and true-false statements. The data was then scored for analysis. The questionnaire also contained demographic information that was used to describe the sample and was designed to examine current attitudes, beliefs, and opinions of the sample group. It was distributed and collected by teachers with no connection to the study. Participants in this study were sophomores at a rural high school in Northwest Georgia. Students were aged from approximately 14 to 16 years old. Of the 81 students surveyed, 39 were male and 42 were female. 75 of the 81 students surveyed currently have a cell phone, and 77 had used a school laptop. This research was conducted as a quantitative study using a cross-sectional survey design. Answers to each question on the questionnaire were scored to give them a numerical value. For example, for the Likert scale questions, strongly agree would equal 5, agree would equal 4, etc. Descriptive statistics was then used to analyze the data. The first goal of the study was to establish how high school students are currently using their mobile devices. These two charts show for what purposes students are using their cell phones and school laptops. As you can see, 95% of students are currently using their cell phones for personal uses. Only 22% of the students surveyed are using laptops for personal reasons. Here's a closer look at the specific activities for which students are using their cell phones. As you can see, phone calls and texting are the most popular purposes for cell phone use, followed closely by using it as a clock and listening to music. Only 9 students, however, admitted to using their cell phone for schoolwork. As for laptops, we can see that 75 of the 81 students surveyed are using those laptops for school assignments. Also, 72 of the 81 are using them to access the internet. The second goal of the study was to investigate the students' perceptions as to whether mobile technology is helpful or distracting during school. As indicated by the chart, 28 or 35% of the 81 students surveyed found cell phones to be mostly helpful in the classroom. 6 or 7% found cell phones to be mostly distracting. More than half of the students surveyed, 47 or 58%, found cell phones in the classroom to be neither helpful nor distracting. The numbers for laptops in the classroom were very different, however, with 65 of the 81 students finding them mostly helpful, and 0%, 16 of the 81 students, or 20%, admitted that they were neither helpful nor distracting. Students were also asked whether they believed mobile devices could be used as a learning tool and whether they find them helpful in completing classroom assignments. In looking at these two charts, you can see that most students agree or strongly agree that both their cell phones and their laptops can be used as a learning tool and helpful in completing assignments. The survey also found that 70% of students surveyed found it helpful to be able to access school news from their mobile device, and 38% of students found it helpful to be able to access schoolwork from their mobile devices. The third and final goal of the study was to explore the attitudes of students regarding appropriate times to be on their devices. When asked if they believed that most students know when it is appropriate or inappropriate to be on their phones, 62% agreed or strongly agreed that they did. When asked the same question about laptops, 75% agreed or strongly agreed. The survey also revealed that 100% of the students surveyed believe that teachers should have clear policies about the use of cell phones in their classrooms. Obviously, this was only a small sampling of students from one particular high school, and more research should be done. But in looking at the data collected by this survey, I would conclude that students are ready to use mobile devices in the classroom. While the students are not currently using their cell phones for academic purposes, many of them indicated that they believed their phones could be used for learning and could be a helpful tool in completing assignments. It also appears that the majority of students, when given the opportunity, are using school laptops appropriately and find them helpful in completing their schoolwork. The students also seem to know that there are appropriate and inappropriate times to use their mobile devices and want their teachers to have clear policies about this in their classrooms. While the results of this study look promising, it is important to remember that this was a small study conducted at one school, and that more research needs to be done. This capstone project was my first experience in educational research. Through completing this project, I learned about the differences between quantitative and qualitative research and the methods for conducting both types of studies. By choosing and further narrowing my research topic, I learned to choose the type of research design appropriate to the data I was hoping to collect and analyze. Through conducting my literature review, I learned to research educational topics and to find relevant information within other educators' research. Since I chose to have students as my participants, I also had to learn the proper procedures in my school system for obtaining permission to conduct the study and obtaining parental permission for students to participate. After obtaining the completed questionnaires, the most tedious part of this project was scoring the students' answers and entering them into an Excel spreadsheet. Once that was completed, however, it was interesting to look at the data and analyze the final results. If I were to go back and do this project again, I would have distributed the questionnaires sooner. Unfortunately, there was a delay in returning laptops to the students at the beginning of the school year, which caused a delay in my research. I think, however, if I had had the questionnaires in my hands sooner, that I would have been able to do a more thorough analysis of the data. Learning to conduct and to understand the process of educational research will have an impact on faculty development, school improvement, and ultimately student learning. The results of this particular study will help the teachers and administrators at my school see that the students are, in fact, ready to be using mobile technology in the classroom. They will also see that the students are currently using their school-issued laptops for academic purposes and believe that their cell phones could be used for this purpose too. Knowing this, teachers will be able to create more technology-enhanced lessons to improve student learning. This can be assessed by observations of teachers and students using technology in the classrooms, as well as the products that will be created as a result of this technology. This capstone project, along with all of the projects and assignments completed during this degree program, has helped me become more confident in my own ability to use instructional technology with my students. I also feel that I am prepared to share the knowledge that I have learned with other teachers and coach them in creating technology-enhanced lessons that will challenge and inspire their students to higher levels of thinking.